Hello?
Yo, what's going on? And welcome to another episode of D313 Rapaport, episode 6. This is gonna be a great show today. We have a special guest in the building. We'd like to introduce one of our members of D313XB is Bree. What's going on, Bree? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Just happy to be here, man. And I'm in loss for words, man. It's just I'm so excited for this show today, man. I'm speechless. Normally I got a lot to say, but I'm speechless right now. I just can't believe it.
That's
I'm loving it, man.
that's all right, man. We here, and
Yes,
so
sir.
Nomis J will be joining us shortly. So definitely we got a special guest, a four-time Super Bowl champion, motivational speaker. My apologies. Lionel Vitel, welcome to the show, man. Thank you for coming through, man. How you feeling today?
Man, it's a blessing. Everything is going well, enjoying things, touching a lot of lives. Things are going well. I'm loving it. Glad to be with you guys today.
Absolutely. I thank you for coming in and joining us today on our Rapaport show. So let's get into it, gentlemen. So Mr. Vitel, would you like to just introduce yourself and your background and what you currently do at this moment at this time? Let you take the floor.
Yeah. I'm a Louisiana guy. I went to Nicholls State University, and then from there, drafted by the Washington Redskins, and I bounced around the NFL, played with 3 different teams, and then from there I got into scouting and I got into the personnel side of things, became an executive, and then spent total 35 years in the NFL. So I've been privy to be around a lot of people, a lot of good men that I learned a lot from, men and women. Was fortunate as I played in the league to be part of four Super Bowls, and 1 as a player, 3 as an executive, and then I went to Canada for a year and won as a Grey Cup, which is like a Super Bowl. Went out there and did that. Just retired last year from the league, and I always wanted to motivate and inspire kids around the country, and that's what I do now. I go to high schools, colleges, NFL teams. I talk to the players in the NFL. I try to give them some information on what they're going to be encountering and what's going to be happening to them. In college, I like to talk with them about how to get to the NFL and what's next for them, and how to get there. And the high school kids, I just try to say, hey, you can do it from here, and don't make any excuses. You're not a victim, because matter of fact, the harder it is, it sounds crazy, the harder it is, the better chance you have of making it, because you know how to grind. It's when it's easy, those guys generally struggle, because they lean on their information, they lean on their contacts, they lean on their skills, and then they fall apart. But the guys that have to work for it, you never take your foot off the gas. You got a good chance of making it. It's weird, but it's very, very accurate.
Absolutely. All righty, man. It was like I said before we go on live. It was just crazy. It's like it's like Mr. Vital. I say that name sounds familiar. And it's like you said 4-time Super Bowl champion, 1 as a player, 3 as a executive, and like I said, we're just happy to have you on the show, man. Most definitely, man. It's just more appreciated. Want to thank you again. So we talk about some. Feel like we could talk about some football right quick, Mr. Vital.
Yeah, anything you guys want to throw out, questions you may have that kids could learn, or adults, families can learn. Just throw the questions out, and I'm gonna It could be NFL. Anything you want to throw out, that comes off your tongue, throw it out there, and I'll give you my take.
Right, appreciate. So, as you know, myself and Reed and aka Steve, and Nomis, which he'll be here shortly. We are Detroit Lions fans, and we are Detroit Lions fans, and so what is your take? How do you feel with this year that this Detroit Lions? What you think that you believe there be a playoff team? Do you believe there have one couple players away? What's your feel about the Detroit Lions?
I think they're right there. I mean, last year, if they win that game, they're in, and they have a lot to build on. They have some good young players at a lot of different positions. They've drafted extremely well. Detroit Lions is one of the teams to watch. They're on the come, and I could see Detroit making a push this year. Matter of fact, I'd be shocked if they didn't make it. I have some friends there that work in their scouting department, in their personnel department, and I know a lot of their staff, and those guys are good at what they do. So look for good things from the Lions this year.
Absolutely. Bree, you got any
Yes,
questions
sir.
for him?
Yes, sir. And I'm very big on the Lions as well because I've always been a Lions supporter for them all my life. I've always been a Detroit fan. I like the other teams as well. I've just been more of a Lions
No,
person, and I'm so into this team, and I think they can do something good. I think the biggest thing for them is they have to stay healthy. That's the biggest thing. They have to stay healthy. And if
yeah, that's the case for most of those teams. If you lose a couple key players, you're going to struggle. You're going to lose those games because, believe it or not, in the NFL, five or six guys on that roster are the difference makers. If you lose the wrong ones, so if you lose two or three of those guys, it could impact your game. It's funny, man. You got a team of all those players, and it comes down to five or six guys that can make a difference. You got to keep those guys healthy. But Detroit's got enough to make a run, man, a legitimate run this year. They're legit, and then the coach is doing a great job. He motivates them, he challenges them, he shows them that he believes in them. He speaks loud to them. He tells them how he feels. I love to hear his inspiration in the huddles when he's talking to his teams. He seems like the kind of guy you'd really, really want to play for.
absolutely, 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 he's a wonderful coach. I'm so glad that we have him here, and having the motivational speaking that he does it's so inspiring for this team, and they really want to play for him, and they want to go all out for him. And I noticed that with this team, and
Yep.
I love every bit of it. Like his speeches, his everything that he says. This team is a variation of how he is, and that's very big for the city because we've been waiting for something like this for years. And I think this could be the year. This could be the breakout year for this team.
Yes, yes. Everybody's waiting, and I read a quote where the head coach said that he couldn't wait to play the first game to see how the team matches up versus their opponent in that first game. I think it's KC or so. Was it KC?
Kansas
Yes, sir.
City.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So he was saying that he couldn't wait to watch them play and perform in that first game. So a lot of people will be watching.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. They got that first, and all eyes is going to be them that first game. So it's going to be everybody's really going to see how the Lions really are, and if they're for real, and if they could play against play against the Super Bowl champion Chiefs. So this is basically a stepping stone game for them and how they are. And
Yeah, and
I'm looking forward to it.
I would say too that you would hope I know they want to win it, and best of luck to them to win it. But if you don't win it, but if you compete well, you still have another 15 games or 16 games to play. I think it's a 16 or 17.
17.
17, yeah. So you still have 16 games. So if you lose a game, you have something to build on. So you don't get discouraged if you're a Detroit Lions fan and it doesn't work out the first game because you're on the road. It's tough to win in the NFL on the road. It's tough to win in the NFL at home. So
Yes, sir.
they just got to play ball, man, and keep getting better every week and play like they played last year down the stretch. Nobody wanted to play the Detroit Lions down.
No.
No. Especially the way they ended the season. They got hot at the right time.
Yes, sir.
Think we lost them.
No, we're good. I'm here.
Oh, okay. So I thought we lost you. Yeah, they got hot at the right time. It's just unfortunate, that the one game and then helped them get into the playoffs, but they was in heading to the right direction. And you get out here, Mr. Vital, we get some of these delusional Lions fans or these so Lions fans still don't believe and the way we building this team. They some of them believe, we can maybe win the division, maybe, but we're not gonna go as far. And the sky is the limit. Anything can happen, in the National Football League. I mean, we see teams that play, so and so in the regular season, and they get in the playoffs and they go on to reach the Super Bowl or even win it.
Yeah. But this is a new thing for Detroit. Now, Detroit hasn't won in a long time. So I could see fans being a little, cautious, and I think once the Lions prove that they're consistent and they win games and they play consistent throughout the year, I think they have something to build on. But fans, you got to prove it to fans. They're just not going to jump on the bandwagon. And I understand you got to prove that, hey, we could get out there and we can make a good showing. You just can't get embarrassed, and you got to show that you're improving all the time. But I think that team that they have now and the draft picks they have, they've done well. I think they'll have a good chance.
Absolutely. Definitely. We're definitely looking forward to it as Detroit Lions fans. Definitely look forward to this upcoming season. Like I said, start the season off tough against the Kansas City Chiefs. So we're definitely looking forward to this upcoming season. So speaking of, we have our other member of D3 on 3 XP, Nomus J. Nomus, man, what's going on? How you feeling?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How everybody doing?
Hey, Nomus.
Right.
Hey, hello, sir. Good to meet you.
No problem. I'm glad you made it in, and you heard a lot about you, and you can join us, and like to hear what your thoughts are on things too.
First off, I want to say sorry. I'm a little late.
Things happen. We're good.
And two, I want to say again, it's an honor, sir, to meet you.
My pleasure.
So Nomus, right quick, we was just talking about the Detroit Lions. We was asking about what he thinks about this Detroit Lions team this season. So we was just talking about that right quick. So since you just joined in, Nomus, you got any thing you want to ask Mr. Vital?
Well, for starters, like I don't know how acclimated he is with the Detroit Lions or not. Obviously, they had what most people consider a very solid draft. The schedule, you got some primetime games, you got some big time teams. Like, I just want to know his opinion on what the Lions have been doing in general for the last couple of years, at least with this regime, if he has been able to catch on what they've been doing and whatnot. That's what I kind of want to get his take on it.
Yeah. Can you guys see me?
No, can't see you, sir.
Oh, no, sir.
What do we do? Let's see if I can get myself back on.
Y'all getting a lot of noise from me by any chance?
Nope. You good?
Everything sound good?
Yep, everything sound good.
Yep,
Okay,
you
thank
good.
you. Yeah.
Well, I'll just keep talking, guys, and if it comes back, it comes back. But it was on earlier.
Yeah, yeah, it's no problem.
No
Okay,
problem, sir.
all right. So we were talking about the Lions earlier, and I said that they have a lot to work with. There's a lot to be excited about. They've got a good team, a lot of good players. They've drafted well there over the last couple of years. This year they had a really good draft. You're listening to the people that rate the drafts, and they had them high. Um, Detroit's going to be one of the teams to up and coming teams this year. Everybody in the league is going to be watching it. The head coach said that he can't wait to play the first game versus KC, so we'll get to see right away where they're headed and what they're doing. They do have a lot to work with, though. I'm excited to see Detroit. That's one of the hottest up and coming teams in the NFL, easily.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm with it. And, now, I guess a part two to that question is, based off the foundations of the way they've been building. It's no secret. I know you are a four-time champion. Any comparisons to what they're doing, far as back to your time playing the NFL that feels similar, or where it be from teams you played on, or anybody else's team from friends of yours that played on different teams? Like any similarities you can see, foundation wise, with the Lions?
Let's just start with their division, and they're in that same division with the Vikings, right?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Uh, and so the Vikings are every year they're in, and so that's going to be competitive there. Green Bay, they're losing their quarterback, so now
Yeah,
they're going to get a chance to win because Aaron Rodgers is not in that division, so that thing's wide open. They're a young and up and coming team. I can't think of any team that I played on, but in scouting, I'm trying to think of some teams that we had that we built up that the Detroit Lions are sort of remind me of. I guess the closest to that would be a team like when I was with the Falcons, we had Matt Ryan and we had Julio Jones. We had a quarterback and a receiver. And it was a team that had never really won much. And we went there and we started winning a lot of games. We won the division a couple of times. And I could see them doing the same thing, and them challenging for the division. And then after that, anything goes. But once you win, but you got to win that division. Once you win the division, it's up for anybody.
Yes, sir.
That city, Detroit, that region, they got a lot to be really happy about. It's got to be exciting for you guys, right?
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
city, the city's lit up, and they really all excited about it. And now they just got to go and finish it off because
yeah.
they got players and they got a good coach.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Heard from, myself.
Yeah, and this is, like you said, this is the exciting times that we having for this Lions football team that we hadn't had in a long time. We're definitely, as us Detroiters, as Lions fans, this is one of the happy times that we're very excited about, especially when it happened in the draft, what happened in free agency. We got the NFL draft is going to be coming to our city next year. So it's going to be a lot of excitement. And Lions fans, we as Lions fans, we definitely going to be watching. We're going to the games, and we're very happy, to see our football team be hyped for this football team for a long time, because we had a lot more misery than happiness with our Lions team. So this is the times
Yeah.
we definitely going to cherish this moment of us Lions fans being happy, being we
Absolutely,
excited for this team. So
absolutely. You guys should not apologize for a good team because you guys have had to endure a lot of tough times in Detroit, not winning, not playing at a high level. Now you got a chance to put it back on people.
Absolutely, man. So,
Even through the misery, we still stuck by this team through thick and thin. Even during the losing and the few years that we had good seasons, we still stuck by this team, even through the past and even through the Barry Sanders years and the Calvin Johnson years. We still stuck by this team through thick and thin. So that's one thing I can really respect with a lot of Lion fans is that the ones that was there through thick and thin, they still stuck by this team no matter what.
And to add on to that, it's other teams in the city that have been to the top of the mountain several times, and they don't get the support as much as the Lions have. And that's just how much football means to us in this town. And so, yeah.
Wow. That says a lot. I know I remember watching watching the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. So every year, no matter how they played, when it got to that Thanksgiving game, I mean, they played at another level. It was almost like a Super Bowl. Now, every game's going to count. It's not just going to be how they play on Thanksgiving. Everybody in the NFL will be watching the Detroit Lions. I mean, everybody. They're the one team that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It definitely we getting more like national media attention than before. We haven't had a lot of national media attention in recent memories. And then we do. It's always in the sad and losing moments.
Yep.
We finally we getting the positive. Positive from a lot of the media. We get national media talking about this Detroit and Lions team, how good we can be. We could be partner NFC contenders for the Super Bowl. I'm not not going to go as far as say we're automatically going to go to the Super Bowl. We got to take it a step at a time. We got to take steps at a time. I mean, steps is get into the playoffs, win a division. We haven't won a division title in 30 years. It's been
I'm 30
a long
years old.
time.
I'm 31 this week.
You're a baby.
And the way you said that just made it even worse.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Now I got a question for everybody here. It more so goes to Mr. Vitale too. But I know we just had the recent passing of Jim Brown. Rest in peace to Jim Brown. And I wanted to know, like, from every one of you guys too, like, what did Jim Brown mean to y'all, and like the influence in everybody? Anybody can start first.
Let's start with Mr. Vitale.
Yep. Well, I was fortunate to work on the staff with Jim Brown at the Cleveland Browns when I was just first started scouting. He was on our staff as a consultant, and he would come to, and I got a chance to meet him, and he'd walk the hallways, and he'd come in, and he'd always just give advice on how to be successful. He wouldn't even talk football, but he would just say, hey, got to keep your focus, got to do all the little things, got to be dependable, just all the little tips it took to win. And I remember him like yesterday, and I said, wow, Mr. Brown, and it was just fun to hear that advice. And he meant so much to the NFL because he was the best running back, the best football player during his time. And a lot of people have a question, how would Jim Brown have done today? He'd be down it today because he was a big, fast, tough guy. So to lose him is one that we all were sad about. And boy, he really impacted football world and everybody he touched.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well,
yes, sir.
I'll go next, unless you got something else to say.
No, that's it.
Oh,
that's
okay. Okay, okay. Well, for me, obviously, again, I'm the youngest guy on this panel, but I am, of course, aware of who he was and what he meant to the game, and just how great he, actually was, man, or still is to me, as far as I'm concerned. For starters, I feel like for somebody like him, it's only right if me personally, if we could take a moment of silence for him. You know what I'm saying? But it is for a moment of silence. That's just me. If we all want to join.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
man. For me, when it comes to Jim Brown, it's a real life lesson you learn. He was bigger than football. In this world, growing up, you realize that you get in the business world, and you're going to meet people who are going to be a certain way, and sometimes it's not always a good way to act or treat people. And to me, people try to classify things saying I'm a certain way as a businessman or I'm a certain way personally. It's different. To me, Jim Brown completely destroys that narrative because to me, the way he played football to me was the way he was too as a person. The way I looked at him, he was
Yeah,
physical, he was tough, he was a real man, a man's man, and that's kind of how he seemed as a person too.
yeah,
The way
yeah,
he was as a person, the way he played the game.
yep.
And to me, that speaks a lot in life. If you're a nice person, you're a good guy, you try to do the right thing, you might fall on your face and get bruises here and time for time. If that's who you are personally, then anything otherwise, whether it's business or profession, whatever the case is, it should be the same way. A true man of nature, your true nature, who you are, should shine on all different platforms, not just one area. And that's what I take from him as what he meant to me, as far as when it comes to football and just in life in general. Just be who you are,
Very true.
Daryl.
Man, so man, Jim Brown was an icon,
Yeah,
not just on the football field, off the football field. He was a man of integrity. Um, he was he. When you hear Jim Brown's name, you the most when you hear his name, everybody thinks how great of a football player he was.
right.
All 9 years of his NFL career, but you also when he had retired, you saw how he was there with the Malcolm X well, the Muhammad Ali situation. You see, he was there. He was playing in in movies and sitcoms and all that, and he was helping. Some people forget too. He was helping. Gangs. Saying getting their life together. He had a program. You know, and which to help these people get out of bad situations, help them to be better, in life, for their self and their families. you know when I was, it was just he was like he's the icon of icons, to me. I mean, this man, when you listen, when he talks, you listen. It's you just have that certain individual that you just happy you got to sit down and to listen when they talk, when they
Yep.
give you the motivation, when they give you something that can help you build your life together for yourself and your families and loved ones. Jim Brown's that guy.
Well said.
Jim Brown's that guy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I never got a chance to meet Jim Brown. I never got a chance you know, a lot of us, so three of us at least didn't really watch. I don't know about you, Mr. Vital. You know, had growing up, watching him, you know, his playing days,
Hmm.
but he was
Well,
just
when I grew up, I didn't get a chance to see Jim either. Like Jim
okay.
played 60s and the 60s. It was like 60s. And I was
Okay.
a little boy. And Jim Brown is 80 something years old.
Yeah.
Okay. So he they didn't have much of games on TV when he played, but, he was a real pioneer. He was before his time.
Yeah.
So nobody
It-
around that's around here really saw him play, the people that's still in football,
yeah.
because he was so far at a time. But when you just watch his highlights, when they show his highlights, you're like, wow, look at this. Like a big old man who's just running by everybody.
Yeah.
Big, powerful man.
Yeah. It's just like his rushing stats is still like up there, still up there in no the
Yard,
record books.
yeah, his average per carry and all that, he's just phenomenal.
Yeah,
Nobody touch him. He was just so big and strong.
yeah. He was fast. I mean, it was just you look at the highlights, you just like, man. But as that, me saying, we always will remember him not just only as a football player, we'll always remember him as a man of integrity, a man of he was just he was that icon that you just like you would never forget. It's like you can if you have a Mount Rushmore of football players, he's
Definitely.
up there. He's definitely up there. You gotta put him up there.
Yeah, being there.
He has to be in there. Not
If we
just
do,
what he did on the field, off the field, but that's which I was, he will always be, always be in our hearts, and he will be missed, we always still will look at him as, when the icon on just on and off the field. So
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
honestly, if you do a Mount Rushmore for players in general, you got to throw him up there, top three, like him, Kareem. They got to be up there, man. The stuff they
yeah,
meant to the game and life period, things they done. You know what I'm saying? We take it for granted. No matter how seriously we all may live our lives, we still to some point we take it for granted because
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
stuff
those
they
guys
had to see,
once in a
man.
lifetime guys show up.
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. So
That's,
Yeah.
the
that's
icon, he'll be dearly missed. He had a long career, not just football in life. So yeah, say he will definitely will be missed. We always will remember the
Yeah.
late great Jim Brown.
Yes.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think.
want to just
I think.
say, because I know I have about 6 minutes left that I can be on the show because I got to take on another a business call in 8 minutes. So I just want to say, I want to thank you guys from my perspective for having me on. I am honored. You guys have reached out, didn't know me, and you did your research. I'd like to do this again at some point. We're going to have a long football season. So we'll be able to talk about some of those Detroit Lion football games, and I look forward to it. But all I can say is that I'm happy to see you three young men get together, what you're doing. You guys have something to build on, okay? You got something special to build on. You
Thank you,
got to
sir.
do this every day. It takes, first of all, it takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to be
Absolutely.
successful. If you don't have courage, you're not going to be good at it. Anything you do, and that's my wisdom for you guys going forward. Anything you you do, you gotta have the courage to do it. Anything, name it. You gotta go up to that table and introduce yourself. You gotta stop this person right here and introduce yourself. You gotta make some uncomfortable phone calls. Courage. You gotta get up early to go make something happen. You have to go to some place and sell yourselves for a deal. Courage. It ain't gonna happen if you don't show courage. You got to grab the mic and talk like you're talking right now to the country and to the world. Courage.
Absolutely.
So you have to got it made because you had the courage to do this. You got to start the company that you guys have right now, the business that you have, the team that you guys have together. Courage. It takes courage. You can talk, well, let's do this, guys, let's do that. But if you don't do it, you ain't gonna get it. Okay? You ain't gonna get it.
Yes, sir.
So I commend you guys on having the courage to do what you're doing, and I'll be watching you. Stay in touch, and anything that I can do on my end, I'm gonna help you guys out because I like the courage stuff.
Thank you, sir. We very appreciate you have you on the show. You're more welcome to come on anytime. We definitely like to have you again. So it's very, pleasure to have you on today, sir. And we thank you.
So I'm gonna ask you guys. I'm gonna flip the script on you guys. I'm not asking you for anything, but have your audience flip to my Instagram, Lionel Vital, at Lionel Vital Instagram.
Sir.
I give a message every day, and I give a lot of nuggets. You see a lot of my things that I do. I talk to college football teams, pro football teams, high school football teams. So have your viewership, have your guys, plug it.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Get your guys, they check Lionel out. Okay? Check him out. So that's all I want in return. And if you need me to talk to your high schools, I'll come to Detroit, talk to your high schools if you got high school connections. You know the head coach or the AD. Hey man, we got Lionel. He's doing this a long time. I want to come talk to the kids. So that's the only two things I'll throw your way. But anything I can do for you guys, I'll help.
All right, thank you, sir. We very appreciate you
Thank
coming.
you so much.
Thank you for joining us, sir. And we definitely gonna be spreading the word of having following your Instagram.
Well, yeah, right. One more thing. Just like you had, and the word we're here is courage. Just like you guys had the courage to call me. You don't know what I'm going to say. You didn't know me from a hill of beans, but you had the courage to call. Keep having the courage to contact other people, no matter who he is. From Michael Jordan on down, Isaiah Thomas on down. Have the courage to call them. Ask them to come say a couple words on your show. You'll be surprised how many people decide to say, yeah, I'll do that. Yes, courage. Sir. You guys have shown it already. Take that one word with you today. If anything I can share with you, courage.
Courage.
All right, guys. I got to go. But hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Vital.
Thank you so much.
Definitely got to come back on for sure.
I will. Spread the word so you guys see my stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Man, that was great having him on just a short period of time.
Man,
that's just big, man.
Yeah. But as far as that, because as far as Chris, what Jim Brown meant to me, man, it was like he meant a lot to me personally. Just growing up in the Midwest, man. Just even though he's a Lions fan, but he was a Cleveland Brown, so played around there, and he got his own statue over there, First Energy Stadium. So I was lucky to go to a couple of their games, and I seen that statue, and I was like, "Yo, that's insane. That's crazy." So I would tell anybody, if you go to Cleveland and you go to the Brown game, please go to that statue and take a picture of it and just look at it in general. So, but he meant a lot, man. He was definitely a revolutionary person. He was a guy that everybody looked up to, and just if it wasn't for him, there would be no Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Damian Tomlinson, the Derrick Henrys, none of them guys. So they owe a lot to him. He was pretty much the first great running back and great person. Just not only just in a black community, but in all communities. A lot of people look up.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you know what? And Barry knew it. That's why Barry didn't. That's why Barry didn't go for the record. He didn't want to do it because he knew Jim Brown, what he meant to the game. He didn't feel the passion want to do that. You know what I'm saying? That was probably his hero growing up. So.
And you know, and the first person I let know that was my mom. But what's funny too, I told because my mom took it personal because back when she was growing up, like she had a big crush on Jim Brown. So I used to always get on her about that. Yeah, used to always get on her about that. It was funny, but she took it. Yeah, she was hurt when I told her that too, man. But shout out to Jim Brown and his family, and and just great career, great man. Did his thing in movies, and he. A lot of people, and I have to put Mr. Vitale in this too. You don't see too many people that come in the league and then they get out of the league and then they do well after the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Not so financially, we talking about as people. You know, if Mr. Vitale's motivational speaker, you know, he just gave us a mouthful. So you know, he likes and believes in helping young people. You know, and people in general, and that's the thing about it. You know, you need these type of men in the organization of not just the NFL but in the NBA, man. Because some of these young guys, they just need the direction, and they need somebody who can be in their ear and help guide them to the right path. And you know, that's why I talk to guys like Mr. Patel. It's not. I don't feel like it's enough of guys like him around that's preaching the word and actually living by it, man. And what he did today. In the short amount of time I came in, was able to see him, man, that was a blessing. And at the end of the day, I can't do nothing but tip my hat to him more and more for the things he said. Just in general, all the topics he talked about, man, it's just these are the type of men that, you know, I respect. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. These are the type of men you look forward to having in your life. As figures for you, as father figures or any male figure you can go to, man. This is how they should be built. Guys like them, man. Man, I just lost
absolutely, man. That was great. Just having Mr. Vitale on. You know, the short time that you have, man. It just, like we just gonna spread the word, man. You know, sure you follow his Instagram page. Definitely, listen to some motivation talk. Like I say, it can help us and help our families and loved ones. Everything, man. So it's just definitely glad to have had him on our show, man, our Rapaport show. So yeah. So
and he didn't ask anything either. He just came on and wanted to come on.
Right.
So I gotta respect that. I gotta respect that. That's why what he said is really inspiring and true.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Courage. Have the courage.
Something that I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. I mean, we all have. We all have. You know what I'm saying? So, fellas, man, let's jump into it right quick, man. As you know, the NBA playoffs, we got both conference finals matchups. It's crazy, man. You know, both Denver and Miami, man, up 3-0. Denver is playing, I believe, as right now as they speak, they are playing. They trying to close this thing out tonight in LA. So Miami, as you know, last night the Miami Heat won. They're up 3-0. So, fellas, man, how y'all feel about these conference finals so far, man? Start with you, Bree.
Brought to you by StreamYard.
Right.
Oh, Lord. I'm gonna say this, man. First of all, congratulations to Denver and Miami for doing what they're doing. Lakers, hey, Lakers is the Lakers. I'm more disappointed at Boston. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm not saying, like I said, they, first of all, Grant Williams, please be quiet. Stop poking the bear. You just gonna make Jimmy Butler even more upset.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. You got him, and you got Derek White, who's a first team all defense, and he can't stop him. You got the defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart, he can't stop him. So it's Jimmy Butler on a mission, man. And shout out to Miami and the Heat culture. I think they gon' finish the job tomorrow. I think get them brooms ready and the dustpan, and you might want to do it for the Lakers too. So it's it's about, in the words of Charles Barkley, guarantee.
Hey, so
I'm gonna tell you this: if the Lakers and Boston come back in this series, that lets you know that the NBA is fixed. It's fixed.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
we're not going to even think about that. So,
Right.
As right now, well, just before Nomans go, the Lakers up 31-26. LeBron has 18 points already in the first quarter.
Okay.
He do this all the time. I don't know how many times I've seen him do this.
Well, now he has 21. He just hit a 3. He has 21 in the first quarter.
But see, I still think the Nuggets could pull this one out, because when LeBron's doing this, that means he know everything is fault. I've seen him do this in the finals. I've seen him do this several times, man. Now, maybe, who knows? Maybe he could sniff out a win, but I'm just saying is this. For the Lakers, it goes back to what I said about almost a month ago. I said on the Lakers team, who can you trust? A couple weeks ago, episode 5. I said, who can you trust on that team? And I was proven right. Can't trust nobody. What the Boston Celtics, though, this is, Daryl, you and I talked about this yesterday. They missing Marcus Morris, because I'm not saying he will be able to completely just shut down Jimmy Buckets, but I feel like he could kind of take him out the game without actually taking him out the game, because he did it with LeBron. He was somebody that could lead, and that was the thing about it. They have a leader out there. You got a bunch of angry kids going at Jimmy Butler. He just getting in their head. This guy is battle tested. They don't have anybody on that team that's battle tested enough that can hang with him. And to me, Marcus Morris was the one player that was there that could hang with those type of veterans, because he was battle tested. And I feel like that was a bad move letting him walk. Now, maybe he won it out on his own, but I'm not saying that would change their series numbers or nothing like that. But that's what they're lacking, leadership. On the Heat, they have something called leadership. And I was saying to you yesterday, I'm like, weirdly enough, I would actually go ahead and give Blake Griffin time at this point, because what else do you have to lose? And Robert Williams needs to get more minutes too. Because, I mean, honestly, at this point, you losing with the team you got. You need veterans out there. Keep the close. And as much as I may not care for Blake like that, Blake was a veteran. And Robert Williams, to me, has been outplaying some of the guys that we get more caught than him. And I feel like they're not adjusting enough. They're not making enough adjustments. And the young players that are trying to, deal with Jimmy Butler, they just they're not equipped to what it takes to stop him. The Miami Heat are well more coached, and that plays a part in it too, because, Boston may kind of going through coach. So they probably shouldn't have fired Emmanuel Doku. They probably should have gave him a big time fine instead and let him stay as the head coach. That's what I would have did. You could have suspended him for the first month for something in the NBA, game a bit fine, but instead you chose Flyer. So this is the effect of your decision. You know what I'm saying? So, he had a defense when he was there. Defense ain't sharp. But the Nuggets, I think they just had to stay focused. LeBron, I think the game plan right now, while this game is going on, the Nuggets need to let LeBron do whatever he wants and completely shut everybody else out. LeBron cannot win the game by himself. He is 37, 38 years old. He's not going to be leading by himself. Let him do all he wants, but as long as you retaliate, y'all should be able to close the series out. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start with the Denver Nuggets and the Lakers. As the game is going on right now, Denver, do you want to close this thing out tonight, or do you say, "Hey, you know what? We're just gonna relax. Okay, Lakers are gonna win this game. We go ahead and celebrate in Denver." What you want to do? Right now, I mean, you losing. It's early. You get. Is you gonna say, "Hey, you know what? We're just gonna nail this in. We're gonna celebrate at home," or you just gonna, "Hey, shut them out." It's up to you, Denver. You're the number one seed. You're the better team. The Lakers, yes, they make it. As much as I don't want to give them much credit, but hey, they started off the season 2-10. They was a 13th seed, and then they made the trade. They made a run. They got in the play-in. They won the play-in, and hey, they beat Memphis. They beat Golden State. They beat teams they didn't have any size. Now you're playing against a real team, and it shows it right there. The Lakers, you're not ready. I'm sorry, you're not ready. I don't care. LeBron is in his 20th year. He can't carry his team like he used to. Anthony Davis, it is what it is. You're gonna get a good Anthony Davis. You're gonna get a bad Anthony Davis. You're not gonna get no consistency with him. It's just what it is with him. So,
yeah,
Denver's going to represent the Western Conference. They're going to the finals. I just don't see even if the Lakers win tonight, I just don't see it. Them coming back 4 straight. It's just not happening. Unless Denver having the biggest meltdown. And it got to be if Jokic and Jamal Murray get hurt. That's the only way the Lakers end up winning that series. But, Denver, man, just take care of business, man. I prefer you take care of it tonight. So you got plenty of time. Y'all got them in Miami. Take care of business. Y'all got a whole week off, a couple of days off before June 1st. NBA Finals. Norma's birthday. NBA Finals. So, yeah, definitely, man. So, now, the Eastern Conference. I told you, Bree. I told you, man.
You did.
The Miami Heat, man. They were coming for revenge. You can say, "Oh, it's a different coach." This and that. To me personally, if Udoka was still the coach, maybe it'd be a little bit different. But at the same time, I think Eric Spoelstra. To me, Eric Spoelstra is the better coach. He's been around a long time. He's been a champion. Oh, we lost numbers.
And on top of that too, man, I know people like, well, if Udoka was there, he would have been something different. Y'all gotta understand, it took Udoka 7 games to beat Miami. So Absolutely. He had more of a tougher time too. And really, Miami was really supposed to win that series with Jimmy Butler hit that 3 last year.
Yeah. And not only just Jimmy Butler, remember Jimmy Butler, the losses that they had, Jimmy Butler didn't play well. The 3 wins they had, Jimmy Butler played well. So it was mostly on, and Jimmy Butler knew. So now you coming to get a rematch with them. Now Jimmy Butler knows that he had to step it up. And he had been stepping up in the playoffs, big time. He was so-so in the regular season, but he flipped that switch in the playoffs, and that's when it mattered most. He's flipping. Yes, he had a decent game yesterday. But you know what, though? Yeah. The others stepped up. Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin. The others stepped up. And then Jimmy Butler he trusted every player on that team. There's no animosity. There's none of that with that's one thing with the Miami Heat culture. That's one thing with that culture. They absolutely don't have no turmoil. Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, Mickey Harrison, the owner, they ain't buying that. Udonis Haslem is the end of the bench. Don't even play. But he's there to make sure them players, stay on the right track. Motivate them. And that's part of the Heat culture, man. And that's why they always so relevant, always around so much. Because guys like Udonis Haslem, because Alonzo Mourning, because of Pat Riley, because of Eric Spoelstra, the owner Mickey Harrison. Miami is proved they are the better team. USA, Boston had the more talent.
Yeah.
But Miami is the better team because they're playing like it. That's just plain and simple. Hold on. There was only a 3% chance to win the East. 3%. That only the favorites. They about to be the second 8th seed to get to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999 when the New York Knicks won, and in that short season. And the New York Knicks got hot. They got hot late during that regular season. They turned around. They beat Miami in that first round in the 5-game series. Went on to sweep Atlanta in the second round. Beat Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals 4-2 before running to a team like San Antonio. So Miami Heat, what they do is, like I said, the job is not finished. They're going to close this thing out at home. You steal 2 games in Boston and you win it, and then you come home and you beliterate. You made Boston quit. You made them put the white flag up. Because they know they done. They know they done. Even Boston trying to make an effort to try to win tomorrow, it's going to be too late. Miami just got it. They're going to the final. So, yeah, man. So, and like I told you, Bree, man, when we had a conversation, I told you, it's going to be hard for a team that lose 2 games at home. Come back. It's hard. It's hard. Especially when you had double-digit leads twice in them 2 games. And you lose it. It's hard to come back from that. It's hard. So, gotta give the credit to Miami, man. Like they said, to me, that was like my preseason pick to go to the finals before they was a shell of themselves offensively in the regular season. And then they turned it around in the playoffs. So, gotta give a shout out to the Miami, man. Eric Spoelstra and them guys, man. He's out coaching Joe Mazzulla. Plain and simple, man. So this conference finals, 3-0 for both sides, West and East. Has never been happen before that both teams, the East and the West, had both sweeps. Never. So it could be history. So we'll see, man. So these playoffs, we definitely look for NBA Finals June 1st. June 1st, man. It's going to be exciting, man. Yeah, ain't that right? No, man. The Nostradamus, man. The Nostradamus be at birthday.
Share them Cheez-Its, brother. Share them Cheez-Its.
Only a couple of them left.
Retro, man. In the chat, man. Retro. Cat Orange and what's
What's going on, bro?
Yeah. Miami is doing that with. Yeah, Miami is doing that with like guys who ain't even been drafted and injured players. So that just shows how good this Miami team really is. It's like I've said this before, man. Miami is pretty much like the Eastern Conference version of San Antonio Spurs to me.
Yeah.
Right now. Their culture.
That sounds about accurate.
Yeah, because of the respect that they have.
And speaking of it, before we want to get into it right quick.
How are you?
Get it, okay. I want to get into it right quick. So let's talk about Detroit Pistons right quick, man. Definitely, man. The Pistons, man. We still, like I said, we still waiting on the head coach. We'll see what Troy Weaver and Tom Gores. We still waiting on who's going to be our new head coach. We got the NBA draft coming up next month after the finals. So definitely, we definitely looking forward to that. We're definitely looking forward to who's going to be our new head coach, and whoever the new coach is, as long as it's not Doc Rivers. As long as it ain't Doc Rivers, I'd be fine with that. So fellas, man, let's talk about so we're gonna start. Like I said, we got the the NBA draft gonna be coming up. So who do y'all think? Bree, I'm gonna start with you. Who do you think the Pistons should go after? And one of the young guys in the draft. Do you think should go out there? Who do you think? Or should the Pistons trade that 5th round pick?
I think it depends on who they trade with, if they decide to trade. It depends on who. I've heard that they think about trading to Charlotte or Portland, possibly Portland for Anthony Simons or Jeremy Grant or something like that. So I've heard that. I've heard traded to Charlotte, pick up either Miles Bridges or PJ Washington. I wouldn't mind either one, just long as it's the right decision. Now, if they ended up keeping a pick and drafting, I would probably think somewhere between the lines of Cam Whitmore or the Thompson twins or Jerace Walker. Somewhere around those picks. I don't see any of the first 3 picks like slide down. Maybe Scoop may slide down, but if he does slide down in our pick, I still wouldn't take him because we got too many point guards. And at the same time, you don't want to put Cade on the 3 because you don't want to do that.
No.
In my opinion. So, but yeah, I would think probably just Whitmore or the Thompson twins or Jerace Walker, somewhere around there, if you don't trade the pick. Now, if you trade it, maybe those to Charlotte or maybe Houston, depending on who they are. They got some good young talent there in Houston too. So if you giving me Sengun or Jason Tate or somebody like that, man, hey, what you want? What you want to return?
And it's interesting before Noma's go. It's interesting you said a name that I'm a big fan of. He played for the Charlotte Hornets right now. And I've always been a big fan of him since he was in college. PJ Washington. I'm still a big fan of him because the guy that can stretch the floor, that can shoot the 3, and he can also play some defense. I've been a big fan of PJ Washington. I would love for a Pistons to get a guy like him because he's the guy who can play the 3. Definitely, at times he can play the 4, depending on the matchups. If we traded, say we get, or we train to get him, get it like PJ Walker. I mean, not PJ Walker. That's the quarterback. PJ Washington. I would be fine with that. Because he's still a young guy. He can help this young core. He can stretch the floor. So I would love to have PJ Washington. Now, so that was interesting that you said his name. So, but yeah, no, go ahead, man. Then I'm gonna go ahead afterwards.
Well, honestly, if we keeping the pick, man, it's been 2 players that's for me, and that's Whitmer and Jerace. Now, the thing about it is, I was initially more on Whitmer fan hype because of us needing like a small forward that can help on defense, that can score. But the thing about it is, our defense.
Well, we lost now. He'll be back with us shortly. I mean, so right quick, like you said, for me, if the Pistons, keep the fifth pick, I would go with Jerace Walker. I like it. I like him a lot. I just looked at his highlights. I actually watched one game when he with Houston. Watched one game with him. So he's athletic. He's one of 3D guys that can play some defense, and we need and he can stretch the floor. We need a guy like that. We need that stretch in 3D guy. We don't have that at the moment, and then we need a big that strength, man. We don't have that as far as in the wing. We got it down low with Duran and Isaiah Stewart, and Wiseman, those guys. But we need those in the wing, and we need to have a guy that's going to be part of Piston culture. That's going to play defense. Now it also depends on what head coach we get as well. That's all depends.
Absolutely.
So, whoever's the coach that we get is to be the right fit, to help develop our young core we have. So I like I said, I like the Thompson twins. I'm leaning more towards, Jerace Walker. Now, if we try to trade the fifth pick, if Corey decides that you get a proven veteran, it's who the proven veteran is. I know we talked about it yesterday. He's highly on getting Jeremy Grant back. I had no issue with that. Getting Jeremy Grant. Let's keep him out. I had no issue with Jeremy Grant. Bringing him back here. Now, I think somebody is saying they wouldn't mind having Kyle Kuzma. The problem with Kyle Kuzma is he's inconsistent. We don't need a guy that's inconsistent. I'm not saying you're gonna have you play an 82-game season. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're not gonna have every game. You're not gonna have a great game. You're gonna have but I need you to at least be consistent, and I need you to stay healthy. You don't need a guy like Kyle Kuzma that's not gonna stay healthy. I'm sorry. I like him. I know he's from. He's from here. Well, in Michigan, but at the same time, I don't need a guy that's not going to stay healthy, not going to stay consistent. Sorry, it's just what it is. So, like I said, I don't have no problem if it's a proven veteran that can help, help this Pistons going forward. Now, before I let Nomans go, if the StreamYard don't kick him out. Yeah.
Put that on a shirt, underdog. Put that on a shirt.
Yeah. Brought to you by StreamYard. Yeah. They said I kind of lost my damn thought for a second. But
here's the thing too, man. I think the Pistons got to figure out what their identity is, and they got to figure out what players they want to bring back too. Because they got some free agents, man, and they got some people they need to figure out if they want to keep. The Bogies, the Diallos, all these guys. They got to figure out who they want to keep. The RJ Hamptons and the G League guys and stuff. So they got to just figure out who they want to keep out of all of these guys. I mean, and then to answer Lorenzo's question, you can never have enough ball handlers. You can never have enough ball handlers, really. But we got the rim rockers. It's just that they got to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. They just got to stay healthy.
Yep.
But we got to figure out, like you were saying, D. We got to just figure out. We just got to figure out our identity, and we just everything. Because this we got to figure out too. This is still a young team, so they still got time to grow. It's just about being healthy, and we got to have Cade healthy for a full year, man.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
who knows how this team is gonna be? Him
Absolutely.
and Bagley. Bagley got to get a little bit more weight and get more physical. You know,
Yeah,
so
if he's still gonna be on the team,
but yeah, that too. that
he's
too.
still gonna be on that team. So I
Yes,
guess
sir.
we lost moments for the rest of the show, man. So yeah, because I ain't gonna be on here. You know, we're gonna get out of here in a little bit. So like you said, man, this Pistons team, we definitely looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be we'll see what's going on. Like I said, we be on the lookout for see what new coach we have and this NBA draft. And there's too. Once the draft is over, we definitely gonna be looking at some summer league games. Definitely look at summer league games. So you see, you know, with the young coach, see, you know, even some of the guys that's on the summer league team, it could be that one that could be part of making the team. We'll see. You know, we'll see. Like, we got a lot coming up for this Pistons team. Like I said, for the head coach, for the draft, free agency, summer league, training camp. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a lot. So we definitely gonna be tuned into that. So well yeah, man. Bree, man. So you got any final thoughts on this Rapaport, man, before we get on out of here, man?
Yeah, just of course, thank you to Mr. Vitale for coming in, man. He just sent me a message on Instagram on want me to send him the link to the show. So definitely thank you to Mr. Vitale and his input and inspiration and everything. Just keep watching the playoffs. Also, too, I gotta mention this as well. I'm gonna give a shout out to Carmelo Anthony for announcing his retirement today.
Yes.
So shout out to Bella. Yeah, man, just great show. Again, thanks to Mr. Vitale for coming in. Thanks to the bros for the show as well, and just everything that we talked about, man. And man, just just speechless, man. I just still can't believe it, man. So
it's definitely understanding, man. Definitely
appreciate that.
Definitely understand.
Love it. Great show.
Great. Yeah. Also, too, I'd like to thank Mr. Vitale, man. You know, for coming through on our show today, man, and just his, for the short time he being, definitely talk about his little background, and talking about the legend, the icon of Jim Brown. So definitely it was a great just having him around. We definitely look forward to having him on our future shows. And definitely would like to have him on our mainstream. So definitely. So it's been a great show. So want to get a shout out to everybody that came through on the chat today, from Big Willie Styles to Big A, to Ray, everybody that came through, Mr. Lorenzo Allen, everybody that came through. So yeah, man, I'm definitely is, great Rapaport show, episode 6. Definitely looking forward to the next episode of Rapaport, episode 7. So yeah, man, it's been a great day. I know Nolan's had a little technical difficulties, so he's still part with us. I know he's in the chat, but yeah, man. So make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe to D313 XP. Make sure y'all, like and subscribe. So definitely, man. Definitely gonna be putting more consistent content out there. So make sure y'all tune in. Just make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. If you have, you have Twitter, you know what I'm saying? We definitely might we're gonna start a Twitter account as well. And definitely working on possibly, it's not maybe in the works, maybe start starting a TikTok account. Who knows? So we'll see. But definitely make sure y'all follow us on Facebook and Instagram. So, as that being said, man, this your boy DC1 on behalf with Nomus J and our guy Breed, D303 Rapaport, episode 6. We are out of here. Everybody have a blessed day. Enjoy. Peace.